So, we will remain close to the EU, that's obvious. Every country, whether it's Turkey, Switzerland or Norway, that is geographically close to the EU without being an EU member state, has some sort of close relationship with the EU. They're some more advantageous than others, and Britain will need a bespoke, negotiated relationship of its own. During the transition period, which was proposed by Labour in the first place, Labour would seek to remain in a customs union with the EU and within the single market. That means we would abide by the existing rules of both during transition. That is, so the government, businesses and workers only have to make one adjustment from the current situation to the final terms. Labour spelled out the need for a stable transition period last summer. Both the TUC and the CBI agree on that. We thought the government had accepted that case, but they now seem to be, very surprisingly, in disarray on this issue yet again. Time after time with this government, anything agreed at breakfast is being briefed against by lunch and abandoned by tea time. Disarray is, it seems, the new strong and stable. And the government's muddle and division risk the costly adjustments for both government and businesses, from the current terms to the transitional terms, and then again to the final terms. Labour would seek a final deal that gives full access to European markets and maintains the benefits of the single market and the customs union, as the Brexit Secretary David Davis promised in the House of Commons, with no new impediments to trade and no reduction in rights, standards and protections. We've long argued that a customs union is a viable option for the final deal. So Labour would seek to negotiate a new, comprehensive UK-EU customs union to ensure there are no tariffs with Europe and to help avoid any need whatsoever for a hard border in Northern Ireland. But we're also clear that the option of a new UK customs union with the EU would need to ensure that the UK has a say in future trade deals. A new customs arrangement would depend on Britain being able to negotiate agreement for new trade deals in our national interest. Labour would not countenance a deal that left Britain as a passive recipient of rules decided elsewhere by others that would mean ending up as a mere rule taker. In contrast, the Conservative government has moved from saying it wanted trade with the EU after Brexit to be tariff-free to saying it wants it to be as tariff-free as possible, quite significant change. In which sectors of the economy and industry does the government think would be acceptable for there to be tariffs? They should let us know. Like with so much else, they haven't spelled that out 20 months after the referendum. But that is the consequence of ruling out the option of a customs union, which the government has done. So I appeal to MPs of all parties, be prepared to put the people's interests before the ideological fantasies, to join us in supporting the option of a new UK customs union with the EU that would give us a say in future trade deals. Labour respects the result of the referendum and Britain is leaving the EU, but we will not support any Tory deal that would do lasting damage to jobs, rights and living standards. Some seem very keen on downgrading our trading links with Europe. But we do not believe that deals with the US or China would be likely to compensate for a significant loss of trade with our neighbours in the European Union, and the government's own leaked assessments show exactly that. Both the United States and China have much weaker standards and regulation. Those deals would risk dragging Britain into a race to the bottom on vital protections and on rights at work. Environment, consumer and rights at work are pretty central to everything the Labour Party believes in. And, let me make this clear, we're implacably opposed to our National Health Service or any other public services being part of a trade deal with Trump's America or a revived transatlantic trade and investment partnership style deal with the EU, which would open the door to a flood of further privatisation of public services and our National Health Service.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.